Thanks for joining today, guys. We're covering 6 Disney strategies that you can implement in not only your everyday life, but even your personal brand and business. Tip number 1 is having a vision. Walt Disney himself had a vision before he created a company that would go on to storm the earth and basically take over an entire industry and have no one competing against him early on. How can you take a strategy like having a vision to implement just in your personal life? It's knowing where you want to go before actually getting there. It's having a plan of some sort to go, I want to do X in life, and I have to set up little baby steps for me to get there. Walt created a company that he never believed would be where he's at today, but the steps that he took early on led to something phenomenal. He created a world of imagination that was second to none, and now has created a standard for an entire industry that people follow every single day in, day out, minute by minute, and year by year. Step number 2, or strategy 2, is going to be attention to detail. Attention to detail means everything in life. Why Disney has gotten to the place that they are is because they do all the little things right. When you walk into a park, you're immediately greeted by smells of popcorn. You're immersed into a world that you don't think could actually exist. Every little detail, from the street to the bricks on the building to the sizes of different things in the park, make you feel like you're in a true fantasy world. How can you take that and add it to your life and on an everyday basis? It's attention to your own detail. It's how do I want to hold myself when it comes to the people that I surround with? How do I want to have conversations or talk on a daily basis to make sure that we're having an engaging conversation and that the person that's actually listening to me or I'm talking to feels that I'm completely engaged with them? I make sure on a daily basis that the clothes that I wear or the things that I do represent the personality of me, and I try not to match that of somebody else. Now, I also get engaged with people that I like, so we do similar things. But I try to stay attention, like my attention to detail is making sure I stay on point with who I am, and I always stay true to myself no matter what someone might think of me, because at the end of the day, my uniqueness is what makes me successful and will ultimately lead me to where I want to go. Strategy 3 is having an exceptional personal or customer experience. So, when it comes to top tier level of customer experience, Disney is probably, again, second to none or tied with a lot. It's insane what Disney does to go through to make sure that the customer has the best experience of their life. Again, from the time that they walk into the parks or they sit down to watch a movie, the goal is to pull them into a world that truly does not exist and allow someone to go into a childlike state and enjoy that moment for anywhere from an hour or so from a movie to an entire week that maybe they're staying at the park. The goal is to allow them to get rid of their stressors and take a second to remember what it was like to be a kid again and have all the wonders and the imagination of a child to truly go, I had an experience. Now, what can you do for the people that surround you? Not just like maybe a customer, but friends or family. It's how do you typically engage with them? It's how can I set myself up when I walk into a room and allow someone to experience me? That's what I need to do at the end of the day, is allow someone to experience me, but also pay attention to what other people are doing and saying to make sure that you engage them properly. At the end of the day, just like if you wanted someone to leave a good review for a business, you want somebody to talk about you. Now, of course, we all say that in any way, shape, or form, if somebody's talking about me, especially in business, it's a good thing. Me personally, I like to leave a positive impact because I truly know that I've affected somebody in some way, shape, or form, just like I want you to do the same. Now, yes, word of mouth of it doesn't matter if it's a good thing or a bad thing, your marketing, of course, it gets your name out there, but truly leaving an impact on somebody that's positive will always, if not most of the time, will lead to a positive outcome for yourself. So when you walk in, it's, hey, how do I want to be treated, and how would I like the others to also be treated? That is, at the end of the day, what's going to leave the biggest marker of success for not only you and the people around you, but everyone that comes in contact with you down the road. Because what they're going to do is the people that you meet now will ultimately talk positively of you in the future, which will ultimately always lead to success, whether it's something small or something major, but it's going to work out in your favor. Here we go. Strategy 4: diversification and innovation. Now, a lot of people hear those words and go, how can I do anything like that to actually affect me or my personal brand? Yeah, we get it in business. I can diversify and I can innovate maybe a product or the way I run things. But you can do this in your personal life too. Disney is a master at both of those, diversification and innovation. They are flexible enough to change with the market and change with the times, but also are always on the forefront to make sure that they're leaders in innovation, meaning that they set the standard for how an industry flows or what technology is implemented to make sure that they are successful. How can you do this in your personal life? It's making sure that you diversify and innovate yourself, meaning that flexibility and changing with your personal market or growth is key. You don't want to become so stagnant that you never learn again, or you listen to others, because eventually what's going to happen is that people are going to stop either enjoying your time, talking to you, or trusting you. So, listen to others, take in advice of others, of course, with a grain of salt, and do your own research, but always make sure you're learning. Whether it's something like YouTube, like what we're on right now, a video to maybe grow yourself in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's learning a new skill or technology that's now available in your specific market, or how you do things, or the things that you enjoy. Or it's so I want to innovate myself, meaning maybe I need to rebrand myself or reimagine in the way I do things, because it might not be the best thing for me, at least at this time. Maybe the standard that I have for myself isn't high enough, and maybe I need to raise that bar. So don't be afraid to change. Be flexible with who you are, but stay true to who you are, meaning that you only want to change for the better. And it's because it's something that you see in yourself that you go, I can attain more, not because I need to fit someone's standard. Just make sure what you're doing is for your best. Take your time, learn who you are and what you want in this life. Maybe find your happy place at the end of the day, because truly that's what this is about, is your happy place. Make sure that you are doing the things that are right for you, and don't take what others say with so much force that you have to make a change. But listen, be an open ear and go, maybe there's something here, maybe there's weight to the conversation. Let me go learn about it a little bit more and see where I want to be in the next 2 to 5 years, to see if it's actually reasonable for me to make a change. If it's not reasonable and it's going to change who you truly are, of course, don't do it. But if I'm going, I'm here, and maybe in 2 years, I want to be in some other place or some other job or some other opportunity, and the only way to get there is to be flexible with who you are. Make sure it's flexible where I'm going to move up in a direction and not change to somebody else. Strategy 5 is leadership. We all know that Disney leads the market for hospitality and theme parks, and even in the movie industry. And they've even broken into other industries that most people don't even realize. How can we be better leaders for the people that are around us? Not just in maybe a career, but maybe be a leader and stand out in positions within your friend group. Now, you don't have to lead them to be, oh, you have to do what I say, or this is the way things are going. It's, how can I be a positive leader for change? How can I make sure I'm pulling out the best people or the best in people that will either influence myself or I can influence them to go for the things that they truly want in life? And I think it starts with, hey, who am I? Who do I want to be? And then from there, it's finding people that match that style, but maybe have key differences that make up or lack in areas that you typically don't perform well in. And we were like, hey, look, I'm going to exploit my area and I'm going to be the leader of what I do, whether it's in the friend group or my career, my opportunity. And I'm going to trust that somebody else can do something else in the group. So if I have friends that are, um, I'm the outspoken one and somebody else is like the nerdy one in a sense where I'm both, but maybe someone's really reserved. Well, I'm not going to put that friend in situations that they don't want to be in. And I'm going to push them to things that they're going to excel at, that I see in them. Where it's like if we go out to eat, for instance, I might have to be the one that speaks up because maybe they don't like to do talking somewhere else. Maybe they don't like talking to people or they can't. Now, the goal would be to eventually get them to a better spot where they could do that. But I never want to force it upon them where they have to do something that they don't want to do in that situation. Of course, I want to make them better and go, hey, look, at the end of the day, to grow, I want to make you able to do that, but on your time and when you're willing. For me, I go, I will take over and I will be the leader at this point. I will talk for the group, but I make sure that I do it in good conscience. When you're in a career, it's the same way. It's do what you do best and allow the others that are around you to pull up the weight where you're weakest. I had to learn this, and you can't be good at everything because it's your ego talking. That I go, I'm super, super controlled in my voice and my tone, and I don't mind talking to people. Whereas other people in the group are super good at analytics and that they dive into data. I would rather punch a computer screen instead of doing that. But I know other people, they are just super, super good at it. And I'm going to allow that to go, you need to do that. And I'm going to like push you in that direction because you are so good at it. And maybe you don't even know it. Or maybe it's like, hey, I really like this thing. Well, guess what? I'm going to help push you up the ladder and go, we're going to develop these skills into something that's second to none. And the same for you. I want you to push me and go like, when I say push, I'm not forcing somebody. I'm saying I want to push somebody to be better. I want to make sure that they're getting the most out of their potential. And the way we do that is making sure that we have someone there that's backing us in that situation. Disney does the same thing, whether it's competitors that are pushing them to innovate and change or excel and be leaders in their space, that they go, oh, these are happening, such as Universal maybe opening a new park. What can I do to get better? And Disney starts self-assessing. Maybe I need to do updates. Maybe I need to open a new park. Maybe I need to do this. It's the same thing. It's just in your personal life. It's how can you support your friends and make sure that you're pushing them in a positive direction and they're pushing back to make sure that we're leading for change. And then same thing in business. How can you develop yourself is trusting others to do their parts that they're really good at and you sticking to your own brand. Last but not least is probably my favorite and I believe the most important strategy that Disney does that leads them or has led them to the most success that they've ever had. And it's because they're master storytellers. You have to be a storyteller all your own. You have to be able to sell yourself and the things that you do to make sure that you build your brand. Disney has the success that it does is because they can tell a story like no one else. Whether it's you're walking through the park and being immersed into a world of fantasy, or you're watching a movie, or maybe you're sitting down at a restaurant at Disney, from the second that you step foot into their doors, onto their concrete, you're immersed into a world that no one else does and no one else can compete in. They try, but they can't. Disney does it like no one else. So how can you implement that? How can you tell your story and sell your story like a master marketer and a master storyteller to make sure that you end up with the things or where you want to go in life? Now, I'm not saying that you have to maybe lie or manipulate your story to sound better. It's how can I communicate my story and impact and touch the lives of others? If you can be a master storyteller, and realistically, the people that are really good at this are going to be those in sales. So I always say, if you've never done sales or at least been a server of some kind, I think you should do that, because what it does is it teaches you how to deal with anxieties, but making sure that you stay true to yourself. The best sellers on this planet, the ultimately the best sellers, stick true to who they are, and they allow their own personal brand or their influence to impact the way they sell. It's how can I take a story and make it reach 1,000, 1,000,000, 100, however big the group is you're speaking to, but make them want to be drawn into the conversation. Make them feel like they are also part of it. Or at the end of the day, make it relatable. How can you make your story relatable to others where they go, I see me in this person, and I think it's time, or I think it's what I need to do to trust this person based on their story. Whether it's success or I've started at the bottom and now I'm here, the song, of course, but it's how can I tell the group of things that I've done in my life that will ultimately influence somebody, or they go, I am so connected with this person through the story that they tell that I trust them. And I want to learn from them. I want them by my side. I want them to be a coach, a mentor, a partner. And it all goes back to how can I tell my story? So if you can do that and you can combine these 6 strategies, ultimately you're going to be at a different place in the next 2, 3, 6 months, maybe even a year. And your happy place will be either achieved, or you're going to be getting super close to where you want to be. Or maybe you're already at your happy place, but you're trying to make it better. I think at the end of the day, we're all looking for more out of life. So do the things that are best for you. Implement these 6 strategies and see if it makes a difference. If it does, leave a comment, leave a like, follow, share, whatever it is. Ring the little bell on YouTube. Um, if you liked what I covered, if I need to change something, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that this is the best content for you guys and that you're actually getting something from it, leave a comment. Maybe I need to change things. Maybe the camera wasn't right. Maybe the audio isn't that good. I'm not using that great of a mic. But hopefully you get something compelling from this. Hopefully you can apply these things to your life and get something from it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you learned something, of course, leave a comment, a like, a share. At the end of the day, remember, you're the magic. You are your uniqueness. Stay true to who you are, but always want more and always try to be better. For now, be you, be great, and I'll see you in the next one.